Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is entitled At Your Door. It was written by Ellen Eisenwell, Mark Morrison, Barbara Manui, Chris Adams, Scott D. Anielowski, and Herbert Hike. I'm your game master, and this is episode 13. Our recap will be given by Brian Daly as his character, Dr. Jonathan Liege. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Brian?
Desmond, Ethan, hold up. I'm going to tie my bootlace. As they're walking off into the distance, I'm going to write a note to leave under a rock. My name is Jonathan Liege. I'm one of 5 scientists hired recently to work for Full Wilderness for a summer. And things have been getting weird. We've come out looking for a missing person to this area. And we found her car smashed, knocked off the road. 2 of my colleagues noticed that there was a large handprint on the hood. What this means is anyone's guess. It probably means that things are getting weirder than I had anticipated. But continuing up the road, we came to a cabin where another person we were looking for was supposed to be living. When we rang the doorbell and talked on the intercom, it appeared that she was there, though I must have been a little too far back because her voice was strangely deep. And she hung up and asked us to leave. The sun's going down, and we're moving to investigate another area. Some place called the Black Table. I'm feeling a lot of trepidation moving towards here. If we don't come back, maybe our 2 colleagues that we left in the garage will find this note. Maybe someone else entirely will. If we do make it back, then I'll just pick it up and... yeah, no one will know. Anyway, off to the Black Table we go.
And describe, you say under a rock. Is it hidden under a rock, or is it...
like a corner's poking out, and it's bright white paper, so... and it's on the path.
All right. So, you guys are heading towards the table. You're heading towards the cleft between the mountains. The others, you were inside the garage, and you've seen Chuck walking away, and you're pretty sure from his demeanor that he's probably going to head towards the table too, thinking that that's where you've gone. But at the moment, you're still inside the garage. What do you guys want to do?
Was I able to find like a hatchet or something in here? Or maybe an axe handle? Just something clubbing weapon.
Do a spot hidden for me.
All right. So no, I wasn't.
Yeah. It looks like she didn't do any gardening or anything like that. So the place there's not really anything in there. There is the car, the Jeep.
And the keys are in the Jeep?
Yes.
The keys are in the Jeep.
Yeah. I'll grab the lug wrench.
There's not much. Okay. Yeah, there's not much else in here except that poster on the wall of Jenny when she was younger.
Okay. Then once I feel that Chuck is made it a little ways away. I'm going to key the walkie-talkie. And, hey guys, come in.
Who's got the walkie-talkie?
I wasn't sure if it was me or not.
You at least would have what we all
Yeah.
took them to Don Biozone.
Come in, over.
Yeah, Chuck came by up here. He's looking around for us, and he headed off. He might be headed your way. Just thought you'd need a heads up.
Copy that. Was there anything unusual about him?
No, he was looking around. I just don't trust him. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Just thought you'd know. So, either you didn't get spooked by him and attack him unnecessarily, and he didn't sneak up on you.
Thanks for the heads up.
All right, Dr. Mills out.
Over and out.
And who's in the garage with you?
Margaret is.
Margaret. Margaret, do a
Or-
spot hidden for me.
All right. There you go. 04.
Ooh, that's really good. So you're standing next to Heather. Heather was looking out the window, and she's talking on the walkie-talkie. And you glance over at that poster of Jenny, and for just a couple of seconds, you think there's like something crawling up the wall behind the poster, right at the edge. You thought at first it was bugs, maybe an ant,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no bugs. It's almost as if the wood is wiggling just a little bit.
And I froze up a little bit. So the wood on what?
Right on the very edge of the poster that's on the wall. The wood of the garage.
Heather.
Yeah.
It almost looks like almost like a heat signature when you're looking at something through heat, how it ripples.
Mm-hmm. So Heather, look at this. Look at the poster.
What the crap?
Well, and you realize it's not the poster, it's the wall. It's the wall underneath the poster.
Okay. Well, what the crap?
It's just
No.
tacked to the wall.
Yeah. I'm going to go over to the poster and kind of reach out with my tire iron and just try and rip down the poster with that because I don't want to
Okay.
touch it.
Not a problem. You rip the poster in half and it flutters to the floor. And it feels like a solid wall when you do that. But behind the poster, there is a rectangle that's been drawn on the wall, and inside of it are little tiny letters. And as you stare at the letters are moving, and you don't recognize the language. But the whole thing, the more you look at it, the more bizarre it looks. It's like the text itself is alive. Do a sanity roll.
Yeah. No.
I passed.
If you pass, do 1d. I mean, just one damage, and if you didn't do 1d3.
Okay. 1. Ugh.
It almost seems like an optical illusion. Like when you look at it from different angles, it's slightly different, but it hurts. It hurts your head to look at it
Right.
for any length of time.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have ripped the poster down.
Yeah. I'm going to reach out, touch it.
It feels solid.
Solid. All right. Take my. I try.
Be careful, Heather.
I am, but I can't look at this and try and scratch the wood.
Nothing happens to the wood. It seems impervious to you.
All right, let's just try to keep an eye on the house. Let's.
Yeah. Of
So
course,
go back over and look out the window, but still like sneak and looks back.
yeah, it'll be like a train wreck. You have to keep looking back.
Yeah, you feel very uncomfortable being in the room with whatever the hell that thing is.
But I don't want to go outside.
Is it dusk yet, or is it still some light out?
It's starting to get late afternoon, and you haven't seen any activity at the house at all.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if that's bothering me that much, I'm going to. There's just the main garage door and the door I broke in, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out. Yeah, I'm gonna step out the one I broke and try and just kind of walk behind the garage because it's bothering me, but I still don't want to be seen from the house. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Behind the garage, you're sort of looking into the woods going up the hill.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down there and kind of whichever side of the garage where you kind of like lean over and peek out, you can kind of see the front door of the house the best. I'll sit on that side.
Yeah, that would be the
Pull up my map.
right side of the right side of the building. So
Right.
okay.
Yeah,
nothing. You can still see the light on upstairs. You haven't seen a curtain move or anything.
Okay. Well, we were waiting for the moon, so I'm still going to wait to see if the moon comes out, if anything happens, before I try something else.
Okay. So your intention is to stay there watching the house until whatever time the
moon rises.
Show
Yep.
up.
Yeah.
The moon shows up, but it's the new moon, so
Right. So
it shows up without showing up.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Carlisle, Dr. Liege, Dr. Flores, you've been hiking, and after a while, you come to a place where it seems like the foliage, the luxuriance of the trees, everything is very, very fuller. The plants on the ground, the weeds, the everything, it just seems to be more alive and more growing and everything. And you come into a little, you're going into a canyon that as you're going, it's getting tighter and tighter as you go. Ultimately, as you're walking, there are almost cliffs on either side of you raising up. And there are trees growing on top of the cliffs, and you can see that most of the light is blocked. It's not black dark, because it's still, there's light out, but it's definitely very shady, very, I don't know how you'd say it. It's
Gloomy.
It's gloomy. Yeah, it's gloomy, but it's not unpleasant. And you can see that where you're going up ahead, there is a large slab of granite, irregularly shaped. Probably it sheared off the side of one of these cliffs thousands of years ago and landed here. And it's relatively flat on the top. It's about 8 feet wide and about 12 feet long. And that must be what everybody's talking about. It almost looks like it should be some sort of pagan altar, the way that it's sitting there.
How's the animal life?
You hear no birds. You've seen no animals. However, you do hear insects. Sounds like lots of them.
And is there a waterway at the bottom of this canyon or valley?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Curious. I assume that one of us had the foresight to look in the daily paper to see what the times of moonrise and moonset were, and sunrise and sunset for that matter.
Yeah, we'll just, for the sake of argument, midnight, the new moon would be at its zenith.
And Ethan, Jonathan, the plan was for Evans and Mills to join us before the big show, right?
Correct.
So I guess we'll just scout out a good vantage point, maybe, where we could look at the table stone and not be very obvious to any revelers coming here.
Correct. We also have that guy gonna come looking for us to make sure we're okay, because we left our car or Jeep or whatever at his place.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if he'll feel like the stroll, but
Wonder if maybe one of us should backtrack to the beginning of the ravine and maybe cut him off, let him know we're okay, we're researching something, and he should just go back to his house.
Yeah.
well, I don't assume he's going to want to maintain a midnight vigil with us. You're just trying to save him trouble?
Yeah, or maybe he calls the authorities. 3 or 4, 5 people are out in the wilderness. I can't find them. And then we got rangers and firemen looking for us. Maybe a helicopter.
I mean, they're not gonna send out a search party if we've been gone for 6 hours.
That's true.
I mean, on the other hand, maybe we want a helicopter to show up in the middle of the night, or maybe we will. But I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think we're missing party for a while.
That's true.
And it's not like he doesn't have plenty of parking space.
Yeah, right. I can go to the narrow part of the ravine and wait for Mills and Evans.
Mm.
Kind
We
of
could
hidden, of course.
And we could radio them too to
Yeah.
find out when they're coming. We could just wait here until we hear from them and then head out. You know, no need to just sit out in the woods by yourself or.
Yeah, that's fair.
So around 6:30 or 7, you guys do see Chuck coming down the path that you guys followed, and he seems to be walking, but also he seems to be one of those people that if he sees something in the bushes, he checks to see if it's a snake. You know. And are you guys going to hide from him, or are you going to just let him seek you?
No, I think we'll hail him with a mouthful of trail mix.
Okay.
Once he's close enough to for visual contact.
All right. So as soon as you do that, he's like, "Oh, well, hey, there you guys are." He says,
Hey.
I was wondering.
Hey,
So you found the spot.
Yeah, it stands out. And I'm going to walk around the thing and look at it and see what I can figure out about it geologically, etc.
See any old Bigfoot tracks?
Nah, I didn't expect
no
to.
Bigfoot tracks.
He's like, well, he says, it's going to be a dark night tonight.
So we've heard. New
Seems like
moon,
it's pretty.
right?
You guys want to come back? I can fix some dinner if you guys want.
That's your hospitality is very generous. We're going to hang out here for a little while longer. Our colleagues have gone exploring a different way, and so we're going to meet up here. It felt like a pretty good meeting place. Couldn't miss it.
Well, and as you guys are chatting, he's like, this is the area I'm really hoping to see if I can find my little rattlesnake that I found that one time. And he walks over to the table and he starts looking around. He says, there's little crevices and little spots in here that a snake like that could hide. And there's a chunk of rock sitting there. It's not pristine. The whole thing is not a pristine scene. There's rocks and weeds, and he says, a place like this you might find something. Anyways, he turns it over, and all of a sudden, there's no snake, but an unusual amount of very large crickets come sort of pouring out from under the rock, and he sort of jumps back and he's like, "What the deuce?" And do any of you have biology? Well, I'm sure, of course, you've all got biology.
Entomology.
Zoology. You can roll. Natural world.
Natural world, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a general biology success there. So
I failed my natural world.
Well,
I passed my ecology.
okay. As these crickets, and there's a lot of them, come sort of pouring out from under the rock, you realize that their behavior is a little odd. I mean, normally they would just scatter when you lifted up a rock, but they seem to all be moving sort of in unison as they move. And they're very big, at least twice the size you'd expect from natural crickets. And they're fat and juicy and plump. And they make a very disconcerting sort of tittering sound as they sort of swarm through the grass. And as they do this, they swarm around the table, and then they go back sort of under the rock into cracks and crevices. And then they're gone.
the coloration on them, is it like a Jerusalem cricket?
No, they're more like, they're just sort of a tawny brown. They don't have stripes or anything like that on them like the Jerusalem crickets do.
Chuck, do you have any entomologist friends where you working? 'Cause
Not
that
really.
seemed like an unusual specimen right there.
Yeah, I'd say that was pretty weird. Anyways, there ain't going to be no snakes under there with all those crickets.
Well, there wouldn't be any crickets under there if there were any snakes.
Do a spot hidden. 3 of you can do it.
Just made it.
I failed that also.
That's a fail.
Well, Desmond, as you're looking, like where the crickets have gone and where the crickets were, there's definitely what look like stains on the earth there that are dark. Like
Dark brown.
yeah.
Uh-huh. How about the surface of the rock itself? How tall is it?
It's only about 3 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 feet at one side, maybe 3.5 feet at the other. Just very gently slopes. If you start looking around in the cracks and crevices, you can see evidence of meat.
And if I lick my finger and rub one of these stains, what do I?
Yeah, it's definitely probably blood.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to say anything to the fellows while Chuck is here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's alarming. It's an active site. It doesn't rain much in these parts after all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it does when in the rainy season, yes. Not right now.
I want to get rid of Chuck. What do you think, Ethan, Jonathan? The girls should be coming from the other side of the valley. Do you want to go and maybe head them off at the pass?
Yeah, that works. Chuck, I guess you're gonna be heading home, or I mean, we don't want to drag you around the valley for no reason.
Well, I want to know something. Are you guys like pulling my leg? You guys are really Bigfoot people, aren't you?
Yeah, we are, but we don't want to admit it. But you caught us. But we're gonna kind of stay here and search for some Bigfoot. But listen, we're all doctors. We don't want this getting out to our colleagues, and
You know,
I kind of put my head, you know.
Look,
being a Bigfoot scholar is not exactly great for tenure.
so what are you guys planning? You're gonna be out here all night?
Pretty much.
Well,
Not
you
all
guys
night,
take care.
but we'll be out here for a while.
You guys take care. If you want a little something to eat or some coffee or something, you know where my trailer is.
I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll try not to wake you up in the middle of the night.
You guys
Hoop
have
and hollering.
something to light your way because it's going to get pitch dark tonight down here.
Oh yeah, we have flashlights.
All
Yep.
right. Well, terrain looks a lot different at night,
True.
So,
Path
just-
is pretty clear though.
well, if you get lost, just travel in this direction. And he sort of points, and he says, and you're either going to hit the cliffs, or if you go to your right, you're eventually going to come back out onto the road.
Cliffs, as in a drop-off cliff, or cliffs go?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about valleys. They have a sort of built-in map to them.
All right. Good night.
Good night, thanks.
And he turns around and starts walking back.
So when he's out of earshot, guys, I don't want to jump to any conclusions here, but I'm pretty sure that our rock table is an active altar. There's those fat crickets are dining on some kind of blood, and I'll indicate what I've noticed.
I'm wondering if they're getting big, like Jenny was getting big too.
Maybe.
Right?
Oh,
If Jenny's giving some of her serum to the things that she and or Noel are sacrificing on this rock, then maybe the thing that
Or if Jenny's sacrificing some of her own blood,
That's what I was thinking.
then creatures ingesting that, it could still be active in her bloodstream, which is why she's been experiencing such growth. Because she wouldn't continue to be dosing after this long, right?
Who's this? Yeah, I mean,
it could
Maybe.
be addicting.
Maybe.
It could be the sort of thing where it seems dangerous for her to just continue. I'm wondering if she can even get out of the house at this point, but she must be sustained by something. She can't just have herded the cattle that she stole into the house and be slowly consuming them.
Did
I
her
think.
voice seem low?
She was
Yes.
whispering, but I think it was pretty it was not
I was a little far away from the intercom, but it seemed lower than I expected.
well, if she was putting on that much size, the vocal cords would be changed. But think about women that use steroids; they also get it
Yeah.
deeper. It might be a combination of.
Do an idea roll, a knowledge roll.
It finally passed 44.
Yeah, you too, Dr. Leash.
Just a regular success.
I got a 6.
Ooh.
That's a
So I'm
fail.
super extreme.
You also heard her on the answering machine,
And her voice is deeper now than it was then.
and yeah, but also there's something else. It almost, you could hear it a little on the tape, and you in the very last recording on the tape, but you didn't think about it until now. It was almost as if multiple voices were speaking at the same time.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe we weren't hearing Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, if we weren't hearing Jenny, that would explain that voice on the intercom not seeming to know that Noel's car was shoved off the road.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think we have any reason to think we have more than one giant. Maybe, maybe there's some way in which Jenny is possessed. I hate even to say the word, but given the fact that we have an incantation and a giantess.
Well, when you say that out loud, you do kind of realize that, yeah, it does sound like in a monster movie with, like, The Exorcist, where there's two voices speaking at the same time.
Yeah, like
I'm not confirming possession. I'm just saying that's what it sounds like.
Right. It also could be some side effect of the increase in the size of her throat and vocal cords. There could be some weird resonance. But that would, but if she were in some wise compromised by some other entity, that might explain why there was a giant handprint that pushed the car off the road, but Jenny's still worried about Noelle.
Yeah,
Right.
She might not even realize she had done what she did, if this is true.
Which is even more grim because I was worried about having to confront just Jenny Armbruster, but if we're confronting Jenny Armbruster and she's got a passenger that has ill intent and did away with Noelle, well, it's a good thing we have copies of that endurance chant.
Yeah, and that leads to even more of a moral question. Like, if Jenny is trapped, if there is another entity using her body, what to do in that situation?
I don't know. I don't know of any any parapsychologists that I would consider reputable.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, we would have been laughing at just the words coming out of our mouths.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah. So much for a life of science. Dr. Carlisle, do you want to call the Radio the Ladies? I think maybe they should do a single turn about around the house. I'm wondering if oversized Jenny has an oversized exit somewhere, and we have only seen the front of the house really on one side. And if they just want to have a quick stroll and get a 360 and then come and join us, does that seem like a good idea?
Yeah, so I'll just key it twice without saying anything so they know I'm...
This Mills, go.
Hey, what's the status where you're at?
You've seen absolutely no movement whatsoever at the house.
It is boring. I'm getting eaten alive by bugs.
It's been like 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. Nothing.
Yeah. The light's still on. Haven't seen any movement. I'm wondering if anyone's actually here. Maybe it was a relay of a voice.
That's a possibility. Why don't you guys do a walk around the place once and then head over to the table? It's getting dark. Sorry.
Copy that.
All right. Keep us updated if anything changes, and it's getting dark, so sooner you get here, the better. There's no moon tonight.
Raj. Over and out.
All right. So what those of you who are at the table, what are your plans at this point? You've still got 4 hours till what time is it? Let's say it's 8 o'clock. So.
Is there still a reasonable amount of light that we're dealing with?
A fairly decent amount. And it's probably about now that the others are joining you. Oh, you guys were going to do a once around the house. There's a back door. Actually, let's go to that because I don't know if you want to do something. So.
All right. So I'll go grab Margaret, still hiding in the garage, and relay that information to her. And you go, yeah, let's go around and circle this house, see what we see. The guys are getting a little worried without their ladies keeping in.
Yes, of course. But we are the spine of the group, so we should.
Okay.
All right. The house is, I mean, it's a fairly modern build. You walk around it. You get the impression from the way that it's built, there's probably a basement.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, towards the back, you do find basement windows, little rectangles, but you don't find like a basement door to get down. There's a couple of steps going up to the back door. No movement, nothing.
There's nothing that appears big enough for like a giant person to get out.
No.
Okay.
Do you think anybody's here, Heather?
I don't. Did we see like a phone wire going into the home?
You don't.
Okay. And are basements common in California, or would this be
Not
something?
really. No.
Okay, so this is something unusual. Okay. All right.
Do we want to?
And I'm assuming looking through the windows, you can't see anything.
Well, you look through the windows, and it's pretty dim in there. You can't really see anything. You can see furniture and.
Well, do we want to see if the back door is unlocked?
Yeah. Let's go.
Back door is not unlocked. I mean, it's locked.
Okay, it's not unlocked.
Right. I was double negating.
Okay. And are the basement windows? If the window wasn't there, is it big enough for us to squeeze through? No. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll see if the door shoulders.
Yeah, well, I think you're pretty good at that. Heather, you're tougher than I am.
All right. That seems like a great idea.
Roll some strength.
Yep. Come on. Oh, an extreme.
All right. The door pops. This is the back door you're doing this to?
Yeah.
All right. The door pops without much difficulty. And you are looking into the kitchen. There is a layer of dust on things. And there are some broken dishes in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
Your first impression is that nobody has been in here for at least a couple of weeks, maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
Do a spot hidden for me.
Okay. Hey, that's a pass too. Just
An
regular.
18 is going to be a hard success.
There is something that looks like gray mold growing in the sink.
Ugh. How's it smell in here? Does it smell like food rotting or fecal matter?
No, it actually smells. It's got kind of a earthy, sweet smell, just like the house hasn't been occupied for a while. Maybe the vague smell of sweat.
Okay.
Okay, so how does the furniture look? Has it been like shoved away to like make a clearing for somebody bigger walking through here?
You're gonna walk into the living room?
Yeah.
All right.
Before you do that, let me. I got one of my little baggies. I'm gonna collect some of that mold. I know a guy that'd be interested in that.
Okay. Explain how. You've got a...
I assume there's like well, we've been carrying little baggies around, so I'm going to look for like a butter knife or something to scrape it.
Okay. And you're scraping it into...
Like a little bag, and if I didn't have one, I'd look for like a jar or sandwich bag here.
I would like you to do a luck roll.
Ugh, I spent some luck already. There, the dice failed me.
Okay. As you're scraping a little bit of this very strange looking sort of gray mold. You're not sure if it's really hairy or lumpy. You get it in there. It almost looks like it's reacting slightly to your cutting it.
Mm.
And the tiniest bit of it gets on your index finger.
Oh.
And within a couple of seconds, it starts to cover the tip of your finger.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
I saw that. You went
right,
like this.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
All
oh,
right.
that came out wrong.
At which point, it's now on this hand, too.
Yeah, I was going to do that, but I was like, I don't want it to look like a sex move. But that's what I was trying to avoid. But yeah, I would do that because, like, what the fuck?
Okay. When you do that, it's now on this hand as well. And you can see that it is growing and spreading rapidly.
Oh, shit.
Heather, what's...
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
You're in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Bleach. Look for bleach.
Yeah.
There is a bottle of bleach under the sink.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to start. Don't touch anything. Just get your hands over the sink, and I'm going to start pouring bleach.
It actively tries to avoid the places where you're pouring bleach by moving to the other parts of your hand. It itches.
All right, so I'm going to try to.
Very badly.
I'm going to get a pot, and I'm going to pour the bleach in it.
All right.
And just shove your hands in there. Like, seriously, we got to.
Yeah. I got no other ideas.
Otherwise, we're amputating, and this is not good.
Wait, amputating!
You do that, and of course, bleach is pretty toxic even to your skin after a couple of seconds. Go ahead and do a luck roll.
Oh, come on, baby. No.
Okay. It starts to most of it starts to come off, but you can see pieces of it that are still trying to climb up your arm at this point.
Oh, jeez. I'm assuming a sanity roll.
There's probably sponges here and everything else. Yeah, do a sanity roll.
Yeah.
Both
Like,
sanity
I'm
roll.
already, like, me personally is losing sanity on this. No.
06.
No, that's a foul. All my good rolls went to break open the door.
Yeah, do a 1d4.
Okay.
Do I lose any? I passed.
Just one.
3 points.
All right. Yeah, you're pretty panicked at this.
Stay calm, Heather.
You've sort of noticed that you're almost able to keep it at bay by scraping it off. It takes it a second to sort of recover and come back.
All right, do I have gloves?
I don't know why you would have.
I don't know. Probably not.
Dr. Evans, do a spot hidden.
65 is a pass.
You notice at that point that there are little patches of this gray mold throughout the kitchen, here and there. So there's a lot of it. I mean, it's here and there. So you got to be kind of careful what you're doing. Dr. Heather, do one more luck roll.
Come on. Change dice. Yes.
Right.
Pass.
Well, by scraping it and turning the water on and using bleach and a sponge and everything, you're finally able to pretty much get it off. But it takes you a good 15 minutes of scrubbing with soap to do it. And you're sure that it's gone because you know that it would just grow right back.
Right.
Okay.
I'm assuming I was making noise.
Itch like hell. When you
Right.
And you see that
Nothing-
your skin is red
Yeah.
wherever it was. It doesn't burn. It itches just a little bit, but
Ugh.
All right, well, we better be very careful, but I don't think anybody's home.
Yeah.
Margaret, you had mentioned going into the living room.
Yes, I want to turn on a flashlight at this point. I want
Okay.
to
Yeah.
be very cautious of that mold. Like, I don't want to.
As you step into the living room, you notice three things, one after the other. First is you immediately notice the couch. The couch has been broken.
Okay.
It's broken right down the middle, as if some extremely large person sat on it, and it broke. You also notice that there is a television with a VCR, and it looks like the VCR machine has also been broken, and but there is a tape partly sticking out of it. And the third thing you notice is that in the corner of the room, there is a camera on a tripod with a little red light blinking. It's looking right at you guys.
Well, I'm going to blind it with the flashlight. Shine my flashlight into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go unplug it.
Okay.
Take the tape. Take the tape out of it very cautiously. I'm looking for mold on everything now, but
Okay. The room, there are magazines, books, nothing that looks really important, newspapers. It definitely looks like she was here, but pretty much things are broken, and there is an upstairs.
okay. Well, I want to take the tape out of the camera.
Okay.
I'm realizing this is the 90s, so it's not like a webcam.
Well, no, it's actually
Or-
an electronic camera.
Oh, is it?
There's no web. There's no tape in it. There's a tape in the VCR.
Okay, well, I'll take that. I'll just take the camera. My
Okay.
brain was telling me that was a webcam, so somebody is watching us remotely, but that's
Well,
not
it's not a webcam, but it's what do you call it?
a digital.
Yeah, I think it's
Like a security camera,
mhm.
Okay, a closed.
closed circuit.
Okay, there it is. Okay, interesting. Well, I want to go. Heather,
No,
how are you feeling?
she feels itchy.
Yeah, let's hurry up, but we're already in here, and I'm not going back into that kitchen.
You do notice that the cable from the camera goes around the room and down into the basement.
Okay, well,
Okay, so we can see the. So it's like drilled through the floor.
No, it's just the cord just wraps around the room and then goes through the basement door down into the.
Okay, so we know where the basement entry to the basement is.
Yeah.
All right, and
all right.
let's go.
So the door, so we can see the door to the basement.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that we could like push in front of it to disrupt something coming up? Perhaps.
Not really.
Okay, everything's kind of broken. Okay.
All
Well, I want to go see what that light on upstairs is.
right, I'll watch the basement door.
Curiosity's getting the better of me at the moment, so I'm going to go upstairs.
I'm going to while Margaret's going up there, I'm going to relay on the walkie-talkie. We're inside. This place is a madhouse.
All right, so Dr. Evans, you go up the stairs, and you can see that there are places on the railing where that gray mold is. There's not more of it. There's little bits of it, but it's not like there's more upstairs than there is downstairs.
Okay.
As you come up to the top of the stairs, you can see a bedroom door, and the light's on in the bedroom.
That's
And-
the door I want to go open.
And when you look inside, there is a king-size bed that has been damaged by something incredibly large laying on it. And there is another television, little television, and another little VCR. This one doesn't look like it's been smashed.
Okay, is there a tape in it?
No.
If I put the tape that I have into it, will it play?
Yeah.
I just want to see what's on it real quick.
All right. So what you see is, at first the tape sort of crackles and it's black. And then you think you are looking at a nighttime scene. It's very dark at first when you're looking. And you can see that it looks like it's some sort of little valley, because you can vaguely see stars twinkling in the background. And ahead of you in the picture, there is definitely a large slab of stone.
Okay.
And as you are standing there, you see an enormous woman carrying 2 cows under, like this. She's completely naked. You don't see her clearly. You're just sort of seeing shadows moving. And you see her take the cows and lay them on this slab. And she begins to say something. You can't hear the words that she's saying. And she slaughters the cows, looks like with a big axe, which to her looks like a small axe. And the camera begins to sputter, and the signal begins to get very hazy. And then it goes to just static, but there's little flashes. And in those flashes, you see at first like swirling clouds, and then all of a sudden there is something there, and it's the thing that you saw in the thing. So do a sanity roll.
Yeah, crap. 25's a pass.
All right. I'm still going to make you do 1d4. 1d4 plus 2.
6.
Oh.
Roll a 1d8.
This is where I die, running through mold. 8.
Okay. 1d4.
2.
All right. When you see this, you are completely terrified. And the first thing you do is you grab the VCR and you smash it.
Okay.
And Keith, Heather, you hear this upstairs, this crash. And your only assumption is that something just got
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And Margaret, you are shaking and
Kicking it probably a little bit.
Yeah. I go.
I'm like trying to use the radio, but I'm like.
I go running up the steps.
I should have Dr. Heather do a luck roll to see if she touches any of that gray mold on the way. But I won't.
Oh, my word.
Trip and fall, land my face in it. I run up there. I got my tire iron ready when I come.
Okay, you come into the room and you see that she is standing in front of a television that's now just static, but she smashed the VCR. You see the bed's damaged. You see the room is in disarray. There are large colonies of that gray shit on the bed itself, too.
Oh, God. Margaret, what the hell's going on?
Everybody, they're bringing that damn thing to the stone. Over. the tape, Heather. There's a tape. She killed the cows. She brought
Okay.
That thing from Don Biozyme out into the woods.
What?
Blood. Noelle. They took Noelle. She needed another sacrifice. I'm sure of it. Noelle, we got to get out of here.
Ugh.
She was watching us. She knows we're here.
Noelle could be.
Got to get a head start.
Noelle could be in the basement. We haven't seen him left.
Well, do you want to go down there?
I couldn't live with myself if she was down there and she got sacrificed, and we didn't at least look.
All right, let's
try and get her. We'll in and out. Real fast.
Let's just go. Is the cassette tape destroyed?
Not really.
I'm gonna start ripping the tape out of it.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's how I'm reacting to this.
We'll look at that. But like, yeah, that's kindling. I got my lighter. We'll burn this place down. Okay. Then I'm going to, because I know Margaret's in a hurry. I'm going to run. I'm just go to the basement and open the door.
All right. You can see the cable from the camera running down into it.
Mm-hmm.
You going to go down?
Yeah, I'm assuming the stairway's normal size, so I'm thinking that.
And there's no light.
That freakazoid's not here. I'm going to look.
All right, I'll follow you.
Flashlight.
There's one of these kind of lights.
Okay. Yeah.
You shouldn't go alone, Heather.
Shine my flashlight on the pull chain. Make sure there's no mold on that.
It doesn't look like it.
Then pull the pull chain.
You go down into the basement, and there is exercise equipment. Though the exercise equipment does not look like it's been used in a long time. There's a washer and there's a dryer. And there is a large electrical box with multiple conduits, not going into the house, but out the wall, just below ground level. They're going somewhere else.
Jenny isn't here.
Copy that.
I wonder if she has. You sure the house is clear?
Pretty sure.
Ethan, ask her. Since I spoke to somebody, there must be some wires leading from the intercom to where Jenny's really hiding.
Well, we all had radios too, so you could just.
Right. We hadn't really determined whether we were all carrying them still, but
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing there. But there's wires going down into the basement floor. I mean, there's
this place is
old here, and my arms are shredded.
Yeah, there is a highly dangerous substance in the house. Very hostile mold. We don't want to be prying into the walls to find where the wires are going. That doesn't feel terribly safe. There's colonies of this everywhere.
Is it like the stuff at the Gall place, the Gall farmhouse?
That was green. This is gray.
Yeah. This is, similar kind of strange. The mold got on Heather and started growing and attacking, like going up her arm. I was reacting intelligently when we tried to remove it. So digging into the walls and digging more of that out is not going to be healthy.
Did you get a sample?
We don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I tried, and I'm afraid I dropped it, and then we poured bleach all over that bag.
Dr. Evans, as you're standing there talking, you're looking at the electrical box, and you're looking at the little window above it, and you're looking out to a spot hidden for me.
62 is good.
You can see that there's something about 30 feet from the house on the ridge that's right there next to the where it goes down to the river.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like maybe a little antenna or something sticking up.
We have eyes on an antenna out here, out in the dirt, outside. Heather, come look at this.
Okay.
It looks like, from where you're looking, it looks like it's in the rocks.
Maybe she has some kind of cellar out there. We're gonna check something real quick to see one last check to see if we have a location on Jenny here. But if that's a negative, we'll meet back up with you. But just be careful. From what I've seen, she's huge.
That sounds good. Be careful. You said that there was an electrical conduit leaving the premises?
Yeah, and it seems to be heading over to an antenna outside. That's what we're gonna go look at.
Why did you kill that? Why did you kill that electrical box if there's a arm switch?
Before you do that, Dr. Evans, do an idea roll.
76 is barely okay.
Okay, that's okay. There's way much more electrical conduit and stuff going on here than this tiny little house and the one light bulb upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot of equipment in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe in the other rooms upstairs.
Well, I was running into the floor, and cement floor, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is definitely, all these cables are going that way.
Outside. Okay.
Somewhere. But you can also see that there's electricity coming into the house.
Is there a switch?
On the roadside.
Is there a fuse box?
Yeah, the whole thing is a big fuse box, a much larger one than what you'd expect.
I want to throw a kill switch. Like a big, start turning the breakers off.
Okay.
As long as they're not covered in mold, I want to start
all right.
breakers off.
So you're going to turn all of them off?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have our lights on, so when the light here goes, we're still can see.
All right. I'll go off.
All right. Well, let's go look at that antenna, Heather, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys head out of the house, avoiding the mold, and you cross the distance between here and the antenna. And what you can see when you get there is that your assumption is that those cables are buried in the ground here.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get close to the antennas, you can see where some of them are coming out and attaching to the antenna, but all of the other ones are going into a fissure in the ground. This is probably a volcanic geology of this area. There could be caves, or there could be something under, because you're maybe 50 or 60 feet from the river down below.
Right. Okay.
We think that we found some wires connecting the electricity line in the house down underground into a fissure. We think Jenny might be down there. Over.
Yeah. I think we're gonna need the guys for this. We're gonna get into a place where we're gonna be in trouble, just the two of us. And I hate to rely on them, but man, we're getting into deep.
I don't want to go down there, Heather.
Yeah, me neither.
But she's gonna come back up to us eventually, right? If she's gonna go head to that stone. Although I don't know what we're gonna do to stop it. How tall does she appear? I mean, it's hard to tell, but she was like holding cows on her shoulders, right? So she's like 20 feet tall. Like how tall?
Maybe 18.
She's 2 stories tall, at least from what I saw on that tape. Who knows how big she is now?
Yeah,
and I don't think we have any guns, so.
Well, we got the trank gun, but Ethan's got it. That's why I'm thinking we need to get back to them. I don't want to go into another place.
Did Dr. Evans, Dr. Mills, did you see any sign of the dynamite that Jenny stole?
No.
Or anything that looks like it was used, dynamite was used on it?
No, it doesn't look like it. But we found what we believe is a cave complex that she could be storing it in,
and maybe storing herself in.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to join us down here? Because I think we know she's coming this way, and we might be able to maintain some element of surprise.
Dr. Mills, do a spot hidden for me.
No, not even close.
Okay, how about Margaret? Go ahead, do a spot hidden.
74 is squeaking by.
Okay. Dr. Margaret, you're not absolutely sure, but in the light, you think that maybe 100 feet from you, along the ridge, on the other side of the house, that there might be a path in the rock heading down to the river down below.
We found a probable. I see a path. Like there's something going up the cliff or down the cliff, down towards the river. Looks traversable, or does it look traversable by a very big person?
You can't see it from where you are that well.
I'm gonna get closer.
Okay. Let's go back to the others. You guys are. What are you going to do? It's now fairly dark.
Right. We've been scouting for a location or two from which we can keep an eye on the rock, but be fairly
Okay.
not obvious.
Why don't the three of you do spot hiddens for me?
01.
The other two don't have to do the 01 wins.
81. Hey,
61.
this sapling looks good to hide behind.
Dr. Carlisle, as you are kind of trying to scout out a good spot, and there are places, there are rocks, there are trees, there are things you can hide around. Dr. Carlisle, two things happen. One is you stumble across something in the grass, and you smell something horrible, kind of like rotting flesh.
You want me to do a
No, you did. This is your spot hidden. There's something lying in the grass behind the bush near a tree. It's about 150 feet from the altar itself.
I'll light it up with the flashlight and call.
It's definitely something. What you're looking at are two ovoid sort of things about the size of watermelons. They're purplish black. They're shriveled up, and they stink to high heaven. Like you've never smelled anything like this. But
would we have caught whiffs of this elsewhere around the table, or
no?
Okay.
I'd say that you're pretty sure they're rotting, but you don't see any bugs or insects or anything. There's no flies.
And you said it does have a purplish tint, right?
Yeah, kind of a purple black.
All right, so I call the guys over. You come here, and I start back. Remember what happened with purple for me? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I start backing up immediately from it. My hand's shaking a little bit, and I have the light on, and you see my flashlight shaking a bit. I'm like, and I'm just stuttering, and I'm pointing with the light.
All right, and we're looking as well. Do they look wet?
Not really. Like they've dried out somewhat, but
we do a biology roll to try and.
Yes, do a biology roll.
Okay.
And also, Dr. Leach and I have smelled rotting tree stump creatures before.
Yes, we have.
It's not like that at all.
47 is a regular success.
I have a hard success.
Okay. You're 90% sure that these things used to be flesh of some sort, but there's nothing you can identify. I mean, it looks like some sort of an organ, but you don't know what or from what.
Are the
we
two
can't-
go ahead.
So we know it's some sort of flesh, like animal.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're.
Okay, but we can't identify what kind of
Right.
animal it's from. Okay.
And there's no visible mold or anything.
Nope.
Are the two things touching each other?
Oh yeah, they seem to be attached.
So it's two ovoids clumped together, and they're the size of normal watermelons,
Yeah,
big watermelons.
big ones.
Um,
And it's shriveled. It's obviously dried, shriveled.
Jesus.
But can't identify what thing this ever came from,
I'm at a loss here.
or what their function was.
You got anything, Desmond?
I'm pretty. They're like giant. So they're like giant raisins. Two giant raisins that are attached to each other that smell like death, fleshy death.
Well, yeah. There's no smell that you've ever smelled like it, and you can see that nothing is near it. There's no scavengers. There's no insects.
Are they resting on grass, on rock, on dirt?
Your best guess would be that they were dropped here. Yeah, they're on grass and dirt.
How's the grass look?
The grass that's right next to it is definitely stained. Something splashed on the ground here when this was dropped. Some sort of liquid, but it's not red or rusty colored. It's black.
Jonathan, my instinct is to burn these where they lie. But I don't really want to send a column of smoke up and warn
Right.
Big Jenny.
Let's so I'm a bit at a loss.
Is there anything on the surface that looks like blood vessels?
Maybe, yeah, something. They definitely look like they were some sort of bodily organ.
Let's poke it with a stick, and if it doesn't poke back, we'll worry about that later.
Don't go close to it. And I'm still backing away from it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
A good distance.
You poke it with a stick, and it's very leathery. You can't easily penetrate the
Any reaction?
No.
Okay. Does the smell get worse?
Definitely dry. If you pierce it, yeah, it's
All right.
definitely nasty.
All right. I don't think it's going to be immediately harmful. Let's focus on the present here.
Fair enough. Did it feel, when you poked it, was it light, like a husk, or is it weighty, like it's got fluid in it?
No, it feels light. It feels like it's desiccated somewhat.
Jesus. I wonder how much bigger they were before they dried out. I bet they're a month old, though, 28 days. Do you want to cover them with a bush and leave them for later? I want to stop smelling it.
Yeah, let's just move to the other side of the clearing.
All right. And I'm looking for something like a shelf of rock on one of the near cliffs that would make a good vantage point.
Okay.
Yeah, after I take a good 10 minutes to get my composure back, I want to look for a nice spot where I can set up with the tranq rifle.
Okay. Let's just say after maybe 20 minutes or so, you guys find vantage points. And after 40 minutes, Dr. Mills and Dr. Evans don't show up. And after an hour, they don't show up.
Key the radio.
And there's no response on the radio.
What time is it?
It's approaching, let's say, 10:30.
So we're in full dark.
Yeah.
And we've lost contact with Margaret
also
and Heather.
seems like, and it's still fairly warm. This is still that horrible summer heat going on, but it does look like some hazy clouds have moved in, so there's not even starlight. It's pitch black.
Well, we have to get in touch. Let's see if we can get some higher ground, and if they respond, let's check them every 4 or 5 minutes until we get a response.
You do not get a response from either one of them.
Okay. The last thing
And
that
they didn't show up.
the last thing that Margaret said was that she was looking at a pathway on the cliffside behind Armbruster's house. Right? Is that what you guys remember?
I believe so, yes.
That's what I heard.
Well, I'm loath to miss the midnight rendezvous, but Mills and Evans could be in danger, so I think we should all go back, right? Unless somebody wants to stay here and witness the main event.
Right. Well,
But
where do
I
our
had a-
priorities lie?
Well, if Margaret was right, and this table turns into the Divine Mother under the right circumstances, then we'll probably know about it, even if we're far away. Whereas, if we lose Mills and Evans, I won't forgive myself. And they
Yeah,
were trying to track a, possibly possessed giantess.
I mean, their safety is paramount above anything that we could do here. So, I mean, we have no choice. At least I have no choice. I have to go looking for them.
All right.
I'm willing to stay here and try to document or prevent events, but it might be best if we all are present and active. I think we would have been in trouble in Biozyme if we hadn't all been together.
Yeah.
And there'll be another new moon in 28 days if the world lasts that long.
True.
So back up the hill.
Yeah, let's go.
Are you all going to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
What do we have? I've got 2 cans of bear spray. I'm feeling a
Bear
little
spray in a
inadequate here
trunk.
now.
All right. So it takes you, what did we say? How long to get back? An hour?
Yeah, roughly hour and a half.
We'll just say you're motivated. So
And it's dark. So
and it's dark. So we'll say you're motivated and it's dark. So we'll just say an hour. So it's probably about 11:30 when you get back to the road and you're approaching Jenny's house, and obviously you didn't encounter anybody on the road coming. So as you're approaching the house, you can still see that one light bulb on. That's it. And it's very dark.
So that light bulb is still on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. No, the light bulb is... actually, no, the light bulb's on.
The light bulb is on. So either they didn't understand my suggestion about the switch box, or we have somebody on site. So let's be mindful and keep to the tree line as we go and try to find that antenna that she told us about.
Okay. Now that
So-
you know that it's there, it's not that difficult to find.
And I think we should have our if we have headlamps that have a red switch, we should go with red, or we should have our hands over the flashlights and just be keeping our light very local.
Okay.
So
yeah, keep
that
it pointed down. just
what's
to
the
make-
antenna look like when you would get it right on it? Sorry.
Well, it looks like maybe for a cellular, not a cellular, is that what they called them back then? Mobile, well, one of these.
Like a car phone.
Yeah, like a big cellular phone.
Well, let's snap that baby right off at its base.
Okay. Who's
Well,
going
I
to
know we're here now.
Who's going to snap it off?
I'm doing it.
Okay. Dr. Flores, do a listen roll.
How do I have such a low listen roll?
'Cause you
It's because I never listen. I rolled a 30 for 25. I will happily spend those 5 luck points
okay.
because I'm keen to hear what's going on.
All right. As you sort of reach for the antenna, and you realize it's coming out of a fissure. It's coming out of that. You can see that it's obviously been threaded down into this fissure. You can hear noise coming from the fissure, and as you get silent for just a moment and you listen, you can hear Jimi Hendrix along the watchtower. There's got to be someone out of here. Yes. There's music coming from down in that fissure.
Wave the fellas over, ear down. It's half of midnight now, right? If it was 10:30 when they stopped responding completely.
Yeah.
And we didn't pass anybody on the way up. I'm still sorely tempted to break this thing. The fissure is parallel with the cliff face or perpendicular to it?
I guess it's
Is it slicing across the river?
It's slicing it. No, it's slicing in the same direction. So it's probably obviously part of the rock structure itself, but it definitely goes. It echoes to the sound of the music. So there's definitely something down there. It must be caves or something.
Right, gentlemen. Do you think that the entrance to this is going to be on the rock face toward the water? Because it's not big enough to get down here, right?
No,
It's
pretty tight.
This might be what Margaret was talking about. Let's investigate the cliff face over the water.
Yep. Do we have any rope? I didn't bring any.
I think we have some in the car, but that's not so close.
Yeah, right. Fat lot of good.
Oh wait, we did have rope because the guy climbed out of the fissure because we had.
That's right. Yeah, when we went to look at Noel's vehicle, we used rope. That's true.
Yeah.
Good. So we can at least give ourselves a little bit of a safety edge.
So are you going to try to climb down the cliff?
Well, we're going to look first for the Margaret described a traversable path, so we're looking for that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely there is a place that was probably put in by whoever owned the house before. It's definitely a little easily walkable path that sort of switchbacks down the cliff a little past the house and comes out on the beach.
So we would be able to walk it. I don't want to say no problem, but we don't need to climb down it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, keep the lights dim and look for some way into that rock face. I'll take point.
So as you're going down, you come out, the ground is kind of gravelly and a little bit sandy next to the river. And the cliff rises up, and there's places where the cliff is pretty steep. And as you walk along, it actually gets steeper. So it's definitely a rock granite cliff. And as you go along, you find a little spot where there is a definite crack in the rock face. and you can feel air that's coming from that. Now it's much too narrow to go through, but a little farther down,
Can we hear Hendrix through it?
maybe, but it's far, far distant. It's barely there. You definitely hear that sort of awe sound from the inside, that sort of cave sound.
Right.
Farther down the beach, however, you can see that there is a large boulder that is mostly blocking what looks like a cave entrance.
We're coming from the top of this diagram or the bottom?
You're coming from the bottom, sorry.
Okay.
And the crack in the rock near the bottom is the one that's
Correct.
giving out, the air's coming out of?
Yeah, you can't fit through that one.
Was the air cool or warm going in or out?
Cool.
Is
And coming out?
there lichen on the rock?
Yeah,
Been
it's just a
moved
regular rock face. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there driftwood or anything on the beach?
On the beach, yes. Yeah.
So we could try to pry this boulder open enough to squeeze through.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like you should be able to do that. It's a very large boulder. You wouldn't be able to pick it up or move it, but with the right leverage.
But two of us leaning on a piece of driftwood should be able to move it. It should only need a few inches, right, to squeeze past?
Yeah.
Is it on sand also?
It's on rocky sand, yeah.
Because we could even dig a little bit in front of it.
It doesn't look natural. It looks like the rock came from somewhere else and was pushed up against this entrance.
Yeah, I think this is Jenny's front door. And I think we want to move it as quietly and as little as possible. I think it's a lot easier for her to move.
Yeah.
The air coming out of this cave,
Also cool.
and it's coming out.
Yeah.
And if we listen, do we hear anything?
Yeah, you can definitely hear. It's not Jimi Hendrix anymore. It's Baba O'Reilly by The Who.
Good taste.
Pop music table number 3. So we find up the biggest piece of driftwood that we can try to lever with. Let's see. I'm a very moderate strength. Are either of you guys stronger?
I've got
than half.
Average build.
A little bit above average.
Yeah, kind of large, but average. Average muscle
well,
mass tone.
You could probably manage 2 people on the lever pushing. So pushing and pull. I think you could get 2 people pushing and 1 person pulling. So why don't you all 3 roll strength?
All right.
30 out of 60. Hard.
Ooh.
62 out of 50 failed.
I'm 5 away from a hard success.
Well, that'd make up for my failure.
Desmond, do you want to do? You want to add some luck points to it?
I would rather try to push the roll. I'm gonna think about my romantic feelings for Doctors Mills and Evans, and brace my hand against the rock as well as I give it all I've got.
Okay.
This is when I snap my forearm.
When you tear your ACL.
38. So that is a normal success.
Okay. The rock itself makes some noise as it moves, the scraping sound, but you do manage to push it enough to where you could squeeze. You'll have to like get down on your hands and knees and sort of squeeze, but you can get through there. You don't really have to squeeze, but you know you do. There's not that much room to get through, but you can definitely. You can tell you can hear that music off in the distance.
And the music's echoey enough to suggest that we do, between it being somewhat distant. Well, whatever. Let's hold on a minute and see if is there any light coming down the channel?
Well, not that you got to go through.
Right. If we're just leaning down, we can't see anything except blackness through the hole. All right. Well, let's give it a moment to see whether a giantess comes bounding down the hall. And if not, again, I'll take point.
All right. So Desmond, you squeeze through, followed by Carlisle, and then Dr. Leash.
I'll take up the rear. Do I hear any chanting of fee, fi, fo,
No.
or fum?
So you can see as you sort of come inside, you're in a long, not too narrow, maybe 15 feet wide cave that's leading into a much larger area. And you think vaguely that you can see some light coming from farther away down the hall.
Like it would be direct from the east?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess the width of this is a few people, right? Even at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Like 15 feet wide.
And does this look like it's been dynamited?
No.
It looks weathered. It's a natural formation. Correct. Interesting. And is it so dark that we have to feel our way along?
Well, if you turn off your flashlights. Yes. Right. Except that there might be some vague glow to the east.
From ahead, right. But we can, with our fingers over our flashlights, make out that gap on the right side as we head in?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go there first rather than heading right into the lion's den.
Now, is this like volcanic stone? Is this like a lava tube? Or?
It does. It looks like was probably formed by lava, basalt.
Right.
Now you said, were you going to go into the lower side chamber? Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you guys have? You guys have the red lights on? Is that what you said earlier?
I do have a headlamp that's on red. Yeah. I have a flashlight too, because this thing doesn't get that bright.
Are you going to turn on your flashlights?
My plan, frankly, is to go into that alcove and turn on a bright enough light to read the endurance chant.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're fried.
So,
first I'm going to get a feel for the space to see if turning on the light there is going to expose me immediately.
You don't get any kind of breeze from there. The breeze is coming from farther on. The alcove, though, is pretty black, but it looks like it's maybe, 15 feet wide and maybe 20 feet high. The ceiling is maybe 20 feet above you.
And it doesn't smell like anything, this little side chamber.
Well, it smells... Oh, the police are here. It smells... I'd almost want to say vaguely familiar, but this is all pre you turning your light on. Where are the two of you, Doctor? Dr.
I'm behind everyone, so as he veers off,
All right.
Maybe 10 or 15 feet behind Dr. Desmond.
All right. So,
as he veers off, I'll whisper, "Desmond, where are you going?"
I want to see what's here before we meet Big Jenny.
All right. We'll just kind of creep forward then.
all right. So, Dr. Desmond, you're about to turn on your light.
Again, it's the red headlamp first so I can see whether I'm in danger if I turn my flashlight on.
Okay. You turn your red light on, and you can't see much. You can only kind of see the ground around you. And as your eyes are sort of, trying to see what you're seeing, there's a moment when you think there's something right ahead of you, like 10 feet from you. It's soft and it's lumpy, but it's sort of it's off into the darkness. And there are these black, shiny sort of things in the front of it. Your mind is trying to grasp what it is. Do you turn on your light?
I'm going to take a few steps backwards first, and then I'm going to put my fingers over the front of the flashlight and turn it on.
Okay.
And gradually illumine.
Well, okay. When you turn it on, I would like you to do a luck roll.
I think I just spent some luck. 4. I'm lucky tonight.
Okay. All right. So as you back up and you suddenly turn the light on, we have to condense a couple of milliseconds into the description. The first thing you see is this strange black triangular sort of thing floating in the air. It's shiny. There's something twinkling beyond it, like your light is reflecting in it. And suddenly these lumpy things, there's 2 of them on the ground. They suddenly raise up. This is all within a split second. And this whole mass suddenly lunges forward, and you find yourself in that instant staring into a mouth that is at least 5 feet across. It's filled with 3 rows of shark teeth. It's got this huge tongue. You're suddenly knocked flat on the ground by what must be ginormous claws, and you're pinned to the ground as this thing slobbers all over you, and this voice rings out, "I got you," like that. For the other 2, what you see, you're all going to do sanity. You see this thing come out of the darkness that scares the fucking shit out of you as it attacks Desmond. But in the second millisecond, you realize it's a fucking puppy the size of a horse.
That talks.
And it's pinned Desmond to the ground. And it looks up at you and sort of goes, and wags its tail. And it says, It says,
You're not supposed to be in here. I'm the guard.
you also
Okay.
notice it has the equivalent of a pie tin on a rope around its neck, and in big letters it says Willie.
Okay, let's roll for sanity.
Yeah,
Start.
roll for sanity, especially Dr. Desmond.
I was just going to try to find a quiet.
What's the damage on a pass?
I failed.
On a pass, just do 1 point of damage. If you fail, do 3.
I rolled an 82.
And it's like,
Trespassers, what are you doing here?
Sputtering around the drool. And I'm sure my flashlight was knocked out of my hand, but I've still got so I'm seeing just this wet black nose with a little red light on my forehead. Yeah, I want to answer his question, but I don't think I have the presence of mind. I'm just trying not to scream too much.
Is the tail wagging?
oh yeah,
Okay.
Now I know I
this is a
failed
happy
my
puppy.
sanity, but I'm an animal expert. Can I be like, who's a good boy? And like kind of try and
You don't have to ask me if you can do that. Do you do that?
well, I mean, do I have my mental faculties enough to
It looks like an enormous horse-sized puppy with obvious alterations. There are definitely something here that instead of whiskers almost look like tentacles. They're little short things. It definitely has 3 rows of teeth, and it's speaking English.
Right. That's why I was asking. So, fuck it. I'm just gonna try that and be like, "Who's a good boy? And use my animal handling and try and like go up and like play with it. I know it might smack me around a little, but I wanted to get off Dr. Desmond and see if I can get in its good graces.
It innocently just immediately responds by,
Ah, you're new people. I should go get mommy.
Play with us. I'm gonna see. Does he let me go touch him?
oh yeah. And
I'm
he
gonna
likes it.
scratch underneath his neck and behind his ear.
His hair is a little wiry. It's oversized. Yeah. I mean, he responds quite well, but he's like,
Mommy said that if anybody comes in, I was supposed to make sure that she knows.
Did anyone else? Has anyone else come in here recently?
Mommy brought 2 people in.
And the whole time I'm gonna be like, getting my fingers in there and scratching his, whatever to distract him or her.
Can you show us where she took those 2 people?
Yes.
and he immediately rights himself and bounds into the next chamber.
Okay, let's follow, for better or worse.
Guys, endurance chant, and I'm wiping the drool off my face.
So he came from that area then.
Mm-hmm. Went that way.
And he just goes immediately through this room and into the light.
All right, Desmond.
Yeah, I think
and you hear him,
right.
you hear him in the distance, not too far distance, going,
Mommy, there are people here.
I hope we last long enough to enjoy the hangover on this, Desmond.
Yeah, me too. Let's see what 2 times is worth.
All
And
right.
I'm just gonna, seeing as Desmond's the expert here, I'm just gonna follow along behind him.
As you approach, you start to turn a large corner.
Well, this is
Yeah.
after we've done the chant.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
that's what
wondering.
I was following him on.
And have you all done the chant? All three?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the
Yeah.
roll
What's
for that?
how does the
Well, once you do the chant, you feel a little ill at first, then you feel like you're being filled up with some sort of energy, and then you feel better than you've ever felt before. Okay.
See, guys, I told you.
wow?
I told you.
This could be addicting.
I've been
And
okay.
we'll discuss the consequences afterwards. All
right.
But as
There,
you approach the light and you start to turn, you can see a glimpse that there is stuff set up in the other room, like equipment. However, at that same time, you hear another voice in there say, "Willie, stay." And all the lights go out, pitch black, except for your.
Damn.
Okay.
All right. Lights out. We're small and fast, and she's big and probably slow.
spread out.
And lights out, and we'll be able to hear her.
Desmond, do you have anything on you?
Just the bear spray. I don't think she's going to care about that at all. The
Well,
thing I think we've got to find our hostages.
Yeah, we
right.
definitely need to do.
Nose and eyes.
Now I don't know the mechanics on the tranquilizer rifle, but previously I would have dialed it up as high as I can do.
Yeah, that was the
Water
plan
buffalo.
That was the plan for the stone table.
Right.
And we haven't heard anything like Dr. Mills or Dr. Evans or Noel say, "Help me!
No.
We're in here!"
Um, So as you guys are standing there in the dark, what do you do?
Spread out. I'll
Yep.
go down on one knee like this, just in case she comes with a pitchfork or something.
Yeah, I'm moving along the wall because that's the only way I can move forward in pitch black, and we're listening for a giant, crazy monster lady.
Well, after a couple of seconds, you hear Willie once again say,
But Molly, there are people out there.
and she's like, "Who are you people?" Low voice. "Who are you people?" Strange double resonant voice.
Who are you people?
Wants to take point on this.
Jenny, we're scientists. You have our friends.
You're the one at the door earlier.
That's me. We were worried about you, Jenny.
Listen, I don't want any trouble.
Then if you release our friends, we'll leave you in peace here.
Do you have weapons?
We would be foolish to not have weapons, Jennifer.
Listen, I don't want to hurt you.
Thank
If you
you.
have weapons, drop them, and I'll turn the lights back on.
Do you want to make a deal with us, Jenny?
I want to know who you are, but right now we're at a stalemate.
Well, I think you know that you have an advantage over us physically.
I also have your friends.
And you also have our friends. But we have your secret. If even one of us got out of here, your home here wouldn't be safe anymore if you hurt us or our friends.
Willie, guard. You hear her say that, and all of a sudden she's like,
Yes, Molly.
and yeah, you hear the dog coming towards you. You can't see it. But I'll say do a luck roll to see if it accidentally runs into you.
Oh, I made that actually.
Just by the slimmest hair.
Me too.
I felt a flecks of his drool on me again.
That might be an extreme luck roll.
Well, in any case, it runs past you, and you know that it's going back to guard the entrance.
Yeah.
In that alcove?
Yeah, so that you can't leave. And you hear Jenny say, "You're not going anywhere. Drop your weapons."
Jenny, I'm glad to see that you are still very logical and that this experience hasn't impaired your judgment. That was a very clever gambit. But, you know, Willie's a very good puppy, and we would hate to have to hurt him to escape.
Hurt the dog and you're all dead.
We could have done that already when we first met him. We didn't. We're not here to hurt you or your puppy.
Surrender. Drop your weapons, and everything will be fine.
Jenny, we would be more comfortable doing that if we could hear the voices of our friends.
That's not possible at the moment.
That is very troubling to hear, Jenny. Why is it not possible for us to hear?
Your friends are fine.
Well, if they were fine, they'd be free.
No more negotiation. Drop your weapons, and we can resolve this now.
Well, if our friends aren't there to speak to us, they're not there for you to hurt.
I'm afraid that's not why they can't talk.
No.
Well, gentlemen, what do you say? I mean, frankly, all we have to put down is the tranq rifle because the bear spray is palmable. You know, for whatever it's going to do with us. Well, you know, under the back pocket and easily available. Again, all very quiet. She seems very flexible. The enchantment did not give us extra vision powers, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Willie can see in the near pitch dark because he's a dog.
Yeah.
She apparently can't. But yeah, I don't think we have a chance in the dark. So
I'm the only one armed. I'm putting it against the wall.
All right.
I actually, I do it.
She's like, all right. And after a couple of seconds, the lights come on.
And they're electric incandescent lights?
Yes.
That are out of our immediate visual range?
They're fluorescents, actually. And you can see that she has a large laboratory set up.
Wow.
Okay. She has quite a lot of equipment. And you can hear her talking from that lower large passage. And she says, now come into the room. And your friends are down there in that cage. Go inside.
No. We're not.
Wait.
Go.
So the cage is the little appendix there at the bottom of the lab, and she's speaking from the duodenum on the right.
Correct. Yes.
And the lab is natural stone walls, but full of equipment.
Yes.
It looks like stuff that we saw in the black lab at Biozyme.
Yeah, some of that. There's also there's tables, there's books, there's a lot of stuff. There's pieces of large furniture that are shoved over towards the side. There's
you mean like easy chairs for giants?
Like she originally was using them, and then they're just useless, and she threw them aside. And
Jenny is so big. And she's suggesting we should go toward the cage or into the cage.
She says, just come into the room. Leave
Into
the
the
gun
lab.
behind you.
It's against the wall.
I'm
So
gonna
it's-
stay because I haven't spoken out loud
Oh, that's
to
good.
her yet. I'm gonna stay behind a little bit.
Yeah, she doesn't need to know you're there.
I'm gonna hang back.
I don't
So
think
I've got-
Willie can count.
So
Even if he can, I can try and do the good boy routine and make it out if shit hits the fan. So
So the lab is lit with fluorescent lights, so we can see the bars of the cage.
yeah.
Okay, so carefully moving into the room, the two of us. Hands up at first. Of course, bear spray's right here in his pocket.
mm-hmm. I gave Ethan my spare.
Well, I
Bear
had
spray.
one.
Okay,
I
there you go.
had one. Yeah.
So as you come into the room, Jenny steps out of the darkness, and she is at least 20 feet tall.
Wow.
And she says, "All right, I need you to get in the cage because I don't trust you, but you won't be hurt."
I'm sorry, Jenny. Why would we agree to that?
And she from behind her back, she produces a boulder that probably weighs 200 tons or 200 pounds. And she's like, "Because I can throw really good."
Hearing
But
that, I'm gonna move.
I've just done the
closer to the rifle.
I've just done the endurance chant, and she doesn't want to smash her equipment, and she can't hit us both with a rock. So my impulse is to bolt up one of the sides of the wall and I guess jump or clamber onto her back and say, "You're not the only freak in the room, Jenny."
Is that what you're going to do? All right.
Not going to get in the cage.
We'll call that it's an attack, but it's a grapple.
So fighting brawl, is that what's appropriate?
Yeah, call it a brawl. Yeah.
And I assume I have some sort of endurance chant bonus.
No, and I'll tell you why in a second. So
Okay. It only works once. I would need more than a bonus. I rolled a 91.
okay. Well, you and your extreme strength and agility, you leap into the air, you bounce against the wall, you come around. She rolled an 08. Her hand just goes up like instantly, catches you in mid-flight, and pulls you down like this, and she wraps her fingers around your head, and she says, "Get in the cage or I'll tear his head off."
You'll be killing the only person that could probably bring you back.
I
to
don't give
normal.
a shit. Get in the cage, or he's dead.
I'll go over to the cage.
Sorry, Ethan. And I notably do not pluralize my apology.
And
As I get into the cage, I said, if we're not back outside in an hour, there'll be about SWAT team will be here. Just throwing that out there. We might be dead, but so will you. And I walk into the cage.
all right.
And that's not a bluff. Believe
When
it
you
or not.
walk into the cage, you see Dr. Mills and Dr. Evans. There's a piece of cloth that's been laid on the floor, and they're both laying on it. They look like they're a little bruised, but they're breathing. They're not physically injured very much. They're unconscious at the moment.
Medicine checks on them,
While they're unconscious.
Alright.
Okay.
but they're not. I don't
They're
see
not
broken
bleeding.
bone. Okay.
She then immediately takes Desmond and walks over to the cage and shoves him inside and puts a big old monster padlock locks the door. And she says, "Look, I'm sorry that I had to do that, but I can't risk you getting out of here."
TikTok, 1 hour.
While she's saying that, I'm getting out of here.
Okay.
Past Willie.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
very calmly scooting my way towards the boulder.
Okay. As you are moving towards the boulder, this voice says out,
I see you. Mommy says nobody goes.
Quietly, I'm going to say, "Oh, you did such a good job." Scratch behind his ears, and then just keep kind of slowly edging my way.
he ain't gonna let you leave.
No? Okay. Oh, you're doing such a good job. You should go and tell Mommy how good of a job you're doing.
I think that's a good spot to end it.
Not going to let me do a persuade roll?
Nah. He's a good puppy. He's obedient to Mommy.
Yeah, you should go tell Mommy how good of a puppy he is.
Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Brian Daly, Keith Craig, Jason Melnichuk, and David Gassaway, with yours truly as Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.